to my ears every time. Gear Candy.
So, another episode of our Gear Candy segment, and we have Dan Campbell of the Wonder Years and Aaron West and himself. So, Dan, talk to us about what piece of gear informs what you do, how you write, and how your creative output comes out the most, and maybe something that you just couldn't do without.
I feel like your listenership is going to hate this answer, but I'm a simple man. You tried to help me set up with like getting GarageBand set up so that I could play my guitar through it and like change the tones. And it's too much. When I have an idea, I need to be able to get it right away. And I also need to be mobile and be able to like kind of wander. So I write songs with an acoustic guitar, a capo, and iPhone voice memos. And that's the whole thing, right? Like I did a little bit of, I did co-writing for something with Mark from Blank. And he was like, oh, are you a Logic guy or a Pro Tools guy? And I was like, I got bad news for you, bud.
I'm a voice notes guy.
It's an iPhone voice notes. Yeah, because that's like, I get the guitar and I like to be able to be like, I'm playing it in this room. It's not working. I'm going to go to my bedroom. I'm going to lay down and play. I'm going to stand up and play. I'm going to wander around the room and play. I'm going to check the kitchen. Does the kitchen have the right vibe for me? Maybe I'll write on the porch. Maybe I'll go to the coffee shop without the guitar and just bring like the voice notes, and I'll literally quietly hum to myself in a coffee shop. And I like to be able to listen to it right away. So like oftentimes if I get an idea down, I will immediately take the dog for a walk and put the headphones in and listen to the voice note and like make mental notes and then come right back to it and just be able to, so I basically have like 10,000 voice notes named after my street because that's what it does now.
The location, yes.
Yeah. And before that, it would just be like Untitled 1, Untitled 67, Untitled 95, right? And they're just, so then it takes me forever to find which one was the good one. But that's how I do it. That's how I write songs.
Dude, that's amazing. And so many good lessons. So I'm actually just read a book by a guy named James Clear. It's called Atomic Habits, super popular book. But in it, he talks about one of the biggest pillars to continually showing up to anything, to trying to meet a goal or develop a really great system for longevity. And the biggest thing is, or one of the biggest things is making it easy and taking away all the barriers.
Yeah, lower the barrier to entry.
And that is such a crucial thing, especially when and it gets said a lot and it's a little cliche, but when something can enter your world visually, something can happen to you that sparks a new angle that maybe is the missing link on something you're working on, or is the impetus for, that song for starting, a song that really feels honest and authentic. And you might not be at home. You might not have your guitar, but honestly, most people are just going to have their phone. And so that's why I actually, regardless of what the listeners think of that, I in no way see it as a cop-out, and I love the answer because that's a testament. That's a testament to the same way with clients outside of Wonder Years. I will say, hey, we're working on this thing. Maybe try and change this line, or I think this can be a little stronger. And the first thing I'll say is, honestly, don't worry about putting it in a session and sending it to me. If you have like a revamp or a quick thought, just send me a voice note of it. And I can immediately just listen to it and be like, dude, that's great, but go up at the end. Or, and it's done. And then they get that feedback and they can put it right in at the time that they're sitting down there ready to do it. And they don't have to wait 2 days until I get back to an email or open a session,
Well, yeah, oftentimes I literally, like, it's not even with guitar. I'm literally like out and I have an idea and I just record myself singing into my phone and I have to figure out what goes under it later. But yeah, it just, especially with kids, like I don't always have time to like open up a session and pull out all of the things that I would need to really do it. And also I like to leave things as like, especially for Wonder Years, I like to leave things as open-ended as I can for y'all. So like, I don't want to imply too much rhythmically or too much, I don't want to try to write a guitar lead. Why would I do that? I have 3 really good guitar players. Like, why would I try to write a drum part? Michael is better at drums than I could ever hope to be. So I just, hey, here is the melody over the chords on a voice note. And maybe there's a little bit of an implied melody, an implied rhythm, but it can change. And let's just go from there.
Well, and some of my favorite also too, it's like you mentioned chord changes. Some of the favorite songs that have come together and pieces, especially like with Wonder Years stuff, are the ones that you initially just had a voice note. And I'm just like, honestly, just send me just the voice note. don't wait before you even send me the chords, because even if you had something where you're like, this is the chord structure you're picturing, there might be another different chord structure that I'm just like, hey, maybe we land there, and we know if you have something, but also I might hear it in a completely different context. And sometimes that's a really cool mashup that leads to this other really interesting third option. Sometimes it won't be as strong, but there is merit to that. And with the voice note thing and keeping it super simple and basic kind of allows for that, which is great.
Yeah. Well, that's my tool. And also my laptop is now at 2%. So I'm going to jet. Thank you for talking with me.
Yes. All right. Thanks, dude.
Music to